All right, sorry guys, my live stream was going a little haywire there. Just had to end the live stream and I'm back. And there goes my dog in the back barking. All right, what's up, guys? Sorry for you guys watching right now. I had to hey Sherkan, sorry guys, Dead 4K. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm sorry, my internet connection's just been so weird in my room, and it just literally just stopped working. I tried resetting it. I had to end the stream, and yeah, we're back. We're back. Sorry, I had a few questions to answer. You guys were talking about Shengun, Alperon Shengun. Alperon Shengun. I really like him. I like Alperon Shengun. He's nice, man. I did a video on him actually. There was before the draft. There was some time where the Raptors were looking at Alperon Shengun. I think they discussed about him. You're talking about Sheriff Cooper, Sher Khan. Thank you. Yeah, 14-7 in the summer league is very good. But the only issue with him was he's listed at what 6 foot. We're back 86. Thank you guys for coming back. I'm sorry about the internet connection, guys. I do apologize. My internet's been a little bit whack. I don't know what goes on. Sometimes it just disconnects. But yeah, Sharif Cooper, yes, he's nice, but you know what? He's 6 foot. He's turned the ball over. I think someone was mentioning that as well. He turns the ball over quite a bit, and he's 6 foot. So do you really want? We draft Scottie Barnes. We draft. We obviously have Fred VanVleet, Malachi Flynn. Do you really want Sharif Cooper, a 6 foot point guard or whatever he's listed at? So thank you guys for being here. If you could offer teams, Serge is asking if we could offer teams our current Canadian NBA players are signed with the same amount. Do you think we could have an all-Canadian starting five? Serge, we definitely could. We definitely could. Who would you include in this starting five, though? That's the question. Like, obviously, you got Jamal Murray, right, at point guard position. You got Dillon Brooks from Memphis. He's Canadian as well. Don't forget about him. So, yeah. Who would you put? Like, would you have Chris Boucher as your starting power forward? Who would you have as your center? Yes, we're back. Sorry, guys. I was having some internet issues. Have you looked at Pangos? I have not, Phil. I have not. I heard those rumors, but there's some other YouTubers that got to it, and I thought, you know what? I don't want to keep making a repetitive video. They got to him before me. I did hear a little bit about him. I don't know anything about him, though. Is he good? Phil, is he any good? Shengun is nice, but I think he's going to be foul prone like Nurkic says FS. Is he? Do you think so? I don't. Here's the thing about Shengun, though. I feel like he's a great passer. He's an amazing passer, great rebounder. He can't shoot the three, but he's shown the potential to. So, yeah, we're back, guys. Sorry, guys. It was the internet connection. Yeah, so Serge, who would you guys ask? Serge asked a good question there. He said, if you could offer our teams for current NBA players are signed with the same amount, do you think we could have an all-Canadian starting five? Who would you guys want in your all-Canadian starting five lineup if the Raptors could get every Canadian player with similar salary as to what we have? I think league is moving away from sub 6'2", point guard. So yeah, Sharif Cooper may have trouble guarding bigger players at points as Sher Khan. Yeah, Sher Khan, I absolutely agree. Why didn't Anas Mahmoud get many minutes in the summer league? I thought he looked pretty good. I thought so too. I don't know. It's just a Raptor style of play. I know every team has their own style of play of how they do things, but it just seems like our style of play is not centered around having guys that can't move as well. I'm not saying he didn't move well. He actually moved really well for a 7 foot, whatever he's listed, 7'1", 7 foot center. But I just think the Raptors are going more towards their smaller centers, like 6'8", 6'9", guys that can burst, Precious Achiuwa. So, Fred Kieran says Jamal. I forgot about Shy. How did I forget about Shy? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Andrew Wiggins, Chris Boucher, Cam Birch, maybe at center, says Fred. So someone asked me a question earlier. If we had our starting five Canadian players, who would you guys start on the Raptors? Phil says, yeah, go watch his highlight videos and check out the videos of him facing off against Andrew Wiggins in high school. Dude's an amazing point guard. Is he really? I gotta definitely check him out, Phil. I gotta do a little bit of research, after. So FS is saying Murray. Oh my God, we keep forgetting how much talent we have on Team Canada, man. I totally forgot about RJ Barrett as well. And Dillon Brooks, let's not forget about him. He was killing it in the playoffs. He was a beast in the playoffs. So Murray, Barrett, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Wiggins, Chris Boucher. That's nice. That is nice. Who is a Canadian center? Asked Fred Karen. Dwight Powell from Mavs. I know he's a center. Kelly Olynyk, you got at the center position. I don't really know who's our starting center. like Chris Boucher could, but I mean, the guy's like 210, 205 pounds, whatever he is, 200 pounds at 6'8", so 6'9", whatever he's listed at. Rapster says point guard would be Murray, shooting guard would be Shea Gilgeous, small forward would be Dylan, power forward would be Wiggins and Cam Birch. Wiggins at 4 is going to be a problem, though, says Fred. Problem for other teams or problems in terms of when we have to guard other teams? Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell, yeah, Cam Birch, says Phil. Here's the thing, though. Like, honestly, if I ask you guys, if every Canadian in the league played for Team Canada, who would you start? Like, you got RJ Barrett, you got Shea Gilgeous Alexander, you got Dylan Brooks as well. Those three guys. Like, who do you interchange and who do you put as a small forward shooting guard? So it's like you get to bench one of them. Who would you start? Obviously, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, very likely, but between RJ Barrett, and let's pretend you can't play Andrew Wiggins at the power forward. Let's do this for fun. You can't play Andrew Wiggins. So between Andrew Wiggins, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, you got Dylan Brooks, and who's the fourth guy I'm missing? RJ Barrett. For some reason, I keep forgetting. Those four guys. Who do you play as a shooting guard and small forward? Start Pangos at point guard, says Phil, sure. Steve Nash, point guard, says Bugan Dove. Jamal Murray and Shea Gilgeous would be a problem. Oh, man, that would be exciting. Could you imagine if both of those guys played? I would hate it, but if the Raptors try to become Canadian, all Montreal Canadian fans, no, you can't build a winner. James, I'm guessing you don't like the Montreal Canadiens. Lou Dort, I forgot about him. Lou Dort is Canadian too. Oh man, our roster is nasty, guys. Our roster, like our Canadian talent in the NBA is absolutely nasty. I forgot, like this Lou Dort. I know he can play small forward. He's a little bit undersized, but I believe he's like 6'4". But we got Lou Dort, Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett, Shea Gilgeous Alexander, Andrew Wiggins. Out of these five, who are you choosing to shoot starting as a shooting guard and small forward if you had to choose two of those guys? I know we can play Andrew Wiggins at power forward, but assuming you don't. But who would you guys choose out of those five? This man is a scorer. Yeah, Shea Gilgeous is nice, man. It's nice. Phil says Kevin Pangos is basically Steve Nash. Is he really? Those are high comparisons, Phil. I don't know. I'd have to check him out. Start Banton at point guard, says FH. FS, sorry. Corey Joseph, yeah, he's going to be point guard off of the bench. He's nice, too. We keep forgetting about him. Dort is a solid defender, says Raps and Jays. He really is. Don't forget Nickeil Alexander-Walker, too. He is nice. RIP D Rose. We got some. No, Josh Primo's. He's not Canadian, is he? Oh yeah, Josh Primo. Sorry, I was thinking that Australian guy that I believe OKC drafted. What's his name is similar too. What's his name? The guy who played in the Australian League. Josh Primo is Canadian. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Okay, so Serge says here's a Canadian starting five. Here we go. Corey Joseph at the 1, Jamal Murray at the 2, Eugene Omoruyi at the 3, Kelly Olynyk at the 4, Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson's Canadian. I keep forgetting. Serge, you're gonna pass on guys like Shea Gilgeous Alexander, Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett. Who's the other guy I'm missing here? RJ Barrett. Yeah, Josh Giddey. I was thinking Josh Giddey, not Josh Primo. So I was like, wait, Josh Giddey's not Canadian, is he? Yeah. And he's Raps and Jay says he has improved offensively. Derek says true, Fred. Nickeil is he's nice, man. Nickeil, is he really Ansel? I haven't seen enough of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but yeah, I know he's cousins of Shea Gilgeous Alexander, so he's gonna be nice. Yeah, Josh Giddey. Dylan Brooks, that's who I'm. Yeah, Monroe's, that's who I'm getting to. Dylan Brooks is nice too, man. He's nice. Also, guys, if you guys are watching and aren't following me on, Giddey's Australian, I think, Drafts and Jays. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's the Warge Report. Twitter is Warge the. For Instagram, I'm gonna be taking trades from fans. So if you guys wanna, you can message me on there, and hopefully later this week, I will be reacting to NBA trades. You can throw out any trade for fun for Raptors, and I'll react to it. So if you guys want to do it on Instagram, also, guys, if you do want to give this stream a thumbs up, that'd be absolutely amazing. And if you want to hit the subscribe, that'd be awesome as well. Giddey, Josh Giddey on TikTok is so funny. Is he? I don't have TikTok, man. I'm trying to limit the amount of time I spent on social media. I know if I download TikTok, it's going to be a lot. I forget about those guys, bro. Yeah, Serge, there's so much Canadian talent, man. Alexander Walker, Shea's cousin, Winston T-Mac were cousins too. We should try to get him on the Raps. In the future, Shea Gilgeous just signed that huge 5-year contract, right? Great idea on the fan trade idea submission, says Ansel. Yeah, if you guys want to throw me your trade proposals for the Raptors only, because I can do the other trades after. But if you guys want to throw me any Raptors trade on my Instagram, it's the Warriors Report, and I'm going to be reacting to a lot of those trades. I'll make a video and react to those trades. So Agreed. Yeah. So what do you guys think of the Raptors? I was proposing this question earlier. And how do you guys like the draft? Like, would you, if you got the chance to, would you guys take Scottie Barnes again at that fourth spot, or would you take Jalen Suggs? Who would you take? Seeing how they both played in the summer league, I know Jalen Suggs' summer league ended a little bit early, a little bit too early, but Rapsod Juice says there's so much international talent. Yeah. Andrew says Barnes at the number one spot. Andrew, over would you take him over Green and Cade Cunningham? That's a hot take. 10 out of 10 draft, says Mitsu baby. The draft was nice, man. Honestly, like there's so much hidden talent past like the top 6, 7 guys too. It's this draft, you're gonna be hearing about it in like 5 years. You're gonna be like, wow, this draft was so talented. I'm taking Barnes still, says Grape Drank. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Scotty for sure. Barnes all day, says Derek. Their defense is going to carry them. Anzo, are you talking about Team Canada, like the talent, or the Raptors? Scotty Barnes is crazy. Yeah, he is. I like how we drafted. Curious about David Johnson though. Yeah, I'm a little bit curious about that too. Like I've seen some of his highlights. He reminds me a little bit of Norman Powell. Not as he doesn't dunk as much, but in terms of what he's able to do, the little things. So the energy is straight T dot wife, says Derek. My energy, I'm actually not from Toronto, bro. I'm from I won't disclose my location, but I'm somewhere in British Columbia here on the western coast, West Canada. So Ansel says 4 to 8 seed. Yeah. I hope the Raptors finish higher than that. Do you think the Raptors finish ahead of the Bulls? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I feel like fans react so much to trades and signings. Andrew, here's the thing. Nikola Vucevic. What happened to the Bulls when they got Nikola Vucevic? People are forgetting. Zach LaVine may have scored whatever he was averaging at that time, 20, 25 points before they got Nikola Vucevic, but his point total dropped as soon as Nikola Vucevic. So he's not going to be getting the same amount of shots, the same amount of touches. So that's the thing too, right? And their defense is questionable with DeMar, Nikola Vucevic, and Alonzo. Not Alonzo. Alonzo's a great defender, sorry, but Zach LaVine as well. So, oh, sure, that's a bold take, man. Work ethic is way more important. I agree. Yeah, that's interesting. What do you guys think? Would you take Scottie Barnes if you had the chance over Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham? Our defense is going to be great, man. They're going to be a beast. Wish there was any way we could have gone Cam Thomas. He is so good. Cam Thomas is the guy. Monroe's, he's the guy that next drafted, right? I'm guessing Kelowna, BC. Nope. Nope, close. RIP D-Rose, close. Warriors made out like Band-Aids in the draft. Once Clay gets back, they're going to be a problem. FS. I feel like everyone's sleeping on the Warriors, man. They're going to be super nice. The Warriors, people forget it's Curry was doing everything himself last season. Then Klay Thompson's coming back, man. Like you can't double team one guy because you're gonna leave the other guy open, right? So I agree. Will we start Precious or Cam? Asked Ansel. I think Precious, or no, sorry, Cam Birch. I think very likely we'll start Cam Birch, and then if Precious keeps playing well off the bench, maybe they'll transition him into the starting lineup. Bulls can't defend the worst defenders in the world, says James. Me too, man. Me too. That's why I'm not. Like, don't get me wrong, those players individually, they're very nice, but a lot of people don't realize team chemistry is massive in this league. You need to be able to have team chemistry, so Bulls can't defend. I agree. The Nets drafted him. Yeah, Monroe's, they did. They got a nice guy in him. I like this team. I'm hyped for the next season. They're going to put on the clamps, man. You know they are. TJ, thank you for being here. Every single one of you guys, thank you for being here. I have a feeling the Raptors coaches are going to put more emphasis on moving the ball. Yeah, Shere Khan, I feel like the ball needs to move a little bit more. There's too much ISO play at times, right? So way too much ISO play at times. And especially when you're offense and half-court offense, you need to move the ball because then you get the defenders working. If you're just going one player dribbling the ball, trying to go ISO, and then the other defenders are just standing there, you got to make them work a little bit. Yeah, he was the Summer League MVP along with the other guy who was Monroe. Who was the other guy that won? It was a co-MVP, wasn't it, for Summer League? I'm forgetting the name. Our roster is much deeper in playing in Toronto. It will take us back in the 4-6 seed in the East, but let them underrate us, and we'll come and beat by Sir. Yeah, Cecilia. Yeah, they're U.S. media. What are you gonna say about them? We should start Precious, says TJ. The only reason I wouldn't start Precious at this point because I feel like he'll develop more off the bench. Now, that's not to say Precious does not deserve to start. The thing with Precious is he's going to be playing against backup big men, right? And he's also going to get more touches because when you look at our starting lineup, we got Pascal who wants the ball. We got OG who wants the ball. He's going to be developing. Trent needs the ball. Fred VanVleet wants the ball. So, you can't have 5 guys. I know Precious doesn't demand the ball as much, but He'll be great in our starting lineup. I just think we should play him off the bench just to get him a little bit more time playing against other guys, and he'll get more touches, I feel like. Barnes will be coming off the bench for us, but who do you think Barnes will replace from our current starting five in the future? I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it. Maybe like a few years down the road, if the Raptors decide to build around these young guys, I think Pascal's gone. I love Pascal. I'm totally against trading Pascal. I've gone on like rants before about not wanting to trade Pascal, but if that's the case, I definitely do think Scottie Barnes and Pascal, because their games are so similar. I don't know if they'd complement each other's game. One of them would really have to step up and become a really good 3-point shooter. But I think people are sleeping on Scottie's impact on locker room morale. Seems like he's the kind of guy to get the teammates hyped. R.I.P. D Rose. Absolutely, man. Have you seen this guy talking in the summer league? He's not a rookie. The way he's behaving, he's talking to guys, he's clapping, he's getting people hyped up. And a few people, I was watching interviews, they said Scottie Barnes is like the most hype man off of the court. He's like laughing. He makes people laugh. So I think he's going to be good for the team locker. I absolutely agree. More passing and fast break buckets because lack of shooting. Sure, Khan, I agree. We do need to play a little bit more transition game. That's where we'll get majority of our buckets. Scottie Barnes, the dinosaur and friends. Scottie Barney, sorry. Scottie Barney, the dinosaur, says Booghand Dove. Davion Mitchell was co-MVP. He's going to be a great defender in the league too. Yeah, Monroe, that's who it was. Davion Mitchell, man. He's going to be a beast on defense. Let them underrate us. We'll beat them by surprise. Says, yeah, not totally. There are YouTubers who are putting respect on the Raptors now, which I've noticed. You know what, TJ? I've noticed a lot of people hopping on the Raptors bandwagon. They're like, first they're like, oh, Raptors, they made a mistake by drafting Scottie Barnes. And then after seeing him in the summer league, everyone's like, oh, Scottie Barnes has got a bright future, So it's interesting to see that. It's interesting to see that because everyone, American YouTubers, American media, they were like, oh, yeah, these guys made a mistake drafting Scottie Barnes. And all of a sudden, these guys are, like, oh, yeah, Scottie Barnes is going to be a beast. Raptors made the right choice. So do you think Serge followed Kawhi to LA because he was expecting another ring? Serge is asking if Serge. So, yeah, he definitely did follow Kawhi. And also because he's got this huge, he's all about fashion. So I think I don't know if he started a brand or a company, but he would really thrive in LA. People said Davion was undersized, but he played great defense on taller players like Cade. Yeah, TJ, he's a beast, but he's also older too, I think. So that's why he's physically, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to diminish his defense at all, but he's a little bit older in age than those guys as well. So he's physically a little bit stronger too. But yeah, he's guarding taller guys too. Name a small ball center that you think can reliably guard Precious. Bam Adebayo. I wouldn't call him undersized because I think he's like 6'9", 6'10". I could be wrong on that. I think Bam Adebayo could guard Precious. Plus, they're very similar in style. So Raptors will probably get a bunch of wins just because teams won't be ready for the long wingspan defense. Sure, Khan, absolutely agree. Raptors always play best when we're slept on, says Ansel. Yeah, I agree. I think Barnes and Siakam can coexist. I think Barnes will replace Fred. You know what? Great. I totally forgot about that. He can play the point guard position as well. So what's up, man? Says, I am fun guy. How's it going, man? Thank you all for being here. Appreciate this. Scottie Barnes is very rich man's Draymond Green on all the upside of Green and the potential to be a solid 15-point per scorer. Yeah, mid-sweet, baby. I agree. His ceiling is way higher than Draymond. Going Dragic for Marcus Smart. Aiden, that's interesting. I don't know if they do that. They just signed Marcus Smart to a contract. So if the Raptors trade Dragic to Mavs, what would you want in return, says Raptors and Jays? Moses Brown, if potentially you can get like a second round pick, I don't think they'll throw in a first, or get Josh Green there. He's a good defender. He's like a shooting guard, small forward, I believe. So Ethan is asking, what are your thoughts on the Raptors bench? I love it. Flynn is going to step up. We've got Scottie Barnes who's going to play great defense, can facilitate. Chris Boucher is going to have a better year. And then people hate Dragic, but man, he's going to be scoring off the bench. Watch out for him. Trust me. Barnes is stronger than most people think. He'll get more buckets in the paint than other. Yeah, sure. He's really strong. He's really strong for a rookie. Is Trent the most overrated Raptor? CJ Miles, number 2, says James. I'm not. I really like Trent. I don't think he's a CJ Miles. He's way better. CJ Miles overrated. CJ Miles, what team is he even on anymore? No, I want to say he's overrated. His job was to shoot 3-pointers, right? A 3-point specialist, and that's what his job was. So he was decent with the Raptors. I wouldn't call him great, but you need the headset like the slap chop guy, talking fast, like selling cars at the auction, says RFPD Rose. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the questions. I don't want to fall too behind. If you guys have followed my live stream before, I fall like 10 questions behind. I'm trying to catch up, but yeah. Besides the best GM in the league, quite special, but one could feel his honesty. He's just wholesome. Yeah, CA, he's actually president and executive. I believe Bobby Webster's their general manager now. Kings might run a 3-guard lineup. Possibly, TJ, possibly. I hope Gillespie can keep a spot on the team. We have a lot of young talent and all. Can keep a spot on the team, but we have a lot of young talent and was awful. Yeah, Gillespie was awful, but I hope we keep him. I mean, it's just a summer league. I know he played downright awful, but redraft Aiden Wickers. How's it going? Thank you for being here. So Aiden Wickers says redraft Cade 1, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scottie 5th, Kuminga 6th, Suggs. Wow, that's a little bit of a hot take. What do you guys think? Would you take Kuminga over Suggs? Similar to Suns with Dragic, Thompson. Yeah, TJ, I remember that. I remember that lineup. Dragic, Boucher for CJ, says Aiden. But then where do we play Gary Trent Jr.? I don't know if they do that trade either, Aiden. I don't know. Cade not number one hype says I'm fun guy. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. Hard to say. Let's see into the season. Are the Raptors new area of NBA with positionless? I'm guessing Blue Week. That's what you're saying. Pointless, positionless players and our defense. I think so. It's obvious by the 6'8", 6'9" guys they drafted. Don't think they'll use Barnes at the point, but more like Gasol to make a play at the top. Yeah, Hal, that's a very good point. They could go with so many directions with Scottie Barnes. It's absolutely insane. Do you think? Yeah, the hit Fred and OG in the corners. Yeah, he's capable of doing that. Defense wins games. Aiden Wickers, absolutely. Nobody reads CJ Miles highly. Yeah. Both can be like the 2019 Celtics. Yeah, very possibly. Very possibly. Which team do you think is going to surprise anyone out of the Raptors? Like besides the Raptors, TJ? That's hard to say. I really, really, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs or they're going to make a lot of noise, but I really do like the Charlotte Hornets. I really do. They drafted some nice pieces. I was really high on James Bouknight, and they drafted Kai Jones too. So, how high are you on Delano Banton? Mitsui? I wasn't originally high on Delano. I absolutely hated the pick because I don't feel like you should draft someone because he's Canadian. But I seen him play. He's nice, man. He's got potential. He's got potential in his length. And that's why we're YouTubers and not NBA scouts. So he looks amazing out there, man. I'm expecting big things, not the season, but the following seasons. I think it's a little bit, increase his roles over the year. But I love Boucher, but he's on an expiring contract and older than our entire core. I'd be looking to package him and Dragic to contenders if he can something of value, says Ansel. Yeah, Ansel, I've talked about trading Chris Boucher like months ago. People didn't like it, though. But yeah, if we're trading Dragic and if you can get a really good piece, I'd absolutely do that. Gillespie was horrible in the summer league. He was, Phil. He really was. I was surprised about Banton as well in the summer league. Yeah, TJ, me too. Scottie Barnes looks like Ben Simmons, Pascal Siakam, Draymond Green, more offense. Giannis. He does. He looks like a mix of a bunch of players. Losing Tucker is a big loss. Even if they bring back Portis, they don't have his shooting or defense he provided for them in the playoffs. Says TJ, Bucks are going to miss Tucker, man. I know KD was going off, but he really made him work for those points. He really made him work. They're going to miss PJ Tucker. We can't trade Dragic right now. No takers. Have to wait for the trade deadline and hopefully get a second-round pick for him, says James. James, I really hope they can get more than just a second-round pick. I feel like they can get at least one young player or a future first-round, maybe. Future is a maybe. At least one young player in return, though. Do you think Siakam will be on the chopping block if our new bigs prove to be more effective, says Serge? Who's going to replace Pascal? That's the only thing I have. Like, are you expecting a rookie in Scottie Barnes to come in and do it? Are you expecting Pascal or Chris Boucher to come in and replace Pascal because his offense is 20 points per score, right? So by the next time you go live, I want you to have done your research on Kevin Pongos and let me know what you think. Phil, I absolutely will. I will for sure. How do you think the Heat will do with the Grote Lowry, says Monroe's? I really like Lowry on the Heat, but here's the thing: Jimmy Butler has had a history of injuries throughout the season. Kyle Lowry has as well, so they better get Tyler here to really step up because both those guys, I don't wish injuries on people, but they seem like they're getting up there in age. Obviously, Lowry is already there, but Jimmy Butler as well. You see him missing some games. Jaylen Brown is a great player. Aiden, I love Jaylen Brown, man. I would love to have him on the Raptors. The guy's probably going to be he was an all-star last season, right? I believe, but he's got high potential, man. I love him. Can't wait to see this team play again and develop, says CA. Yeah, me too. Raptors are better than Hornets, Celtics. I agree, Aiden. Me too. Boucher for Claxton, Bruce Brown. That would be interesting. If the Nets do that, I would do that. East is going to be stacked and depends on how Siakam returns in his timeline. So TJ, I believe Pascal is expected to only miss minimum 1 month. You never know. Maybe his rehab is going great. He comes back in 3 weeks. I'm not saying he will, but I think maximum it was expected to be 1 month. So what's your opinion on the two-way players, Champagny and Johnson? Champagny, we didn't see him too much in the Summer League, excuse me. I didn't notice him, but he was okay. I really like his athleticism. He's able to rebound. I know that for sure. David Johnson, nothing really stood out. I'm going to be honest. David Johnson I need to see more of him. Nothing really stood out for David Johnson. Jones Suggs, Mike Conley, John Wallen, Kyle Lowry, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, Kobe, says Aiden. Aiden, what are you talking about when you talk about those players? I could see Clippers wanting Dragic if they have cap space. Yeah, Anzo, me too. I could see the Clippers. Clippers always want Raptors players, so why not? They would love Dragic. He could actually help them in the playoffs as well. Who would you guys want back from the Clippers? I would really like Terrence Mann, and maybe Zubac. Zubac. I don't know how you say his name, but yeah, I would like that back. I wasn't high on David Johnson, but watching him, I think he could be a potential. Let him play in the 905, and so he can develop. Says TJ, yeah, let him develop in the 905. Is Masai the most powerful person in the NBA when it comes to reach and influence? Says Blue Week, possibly, because he's had a huge influence on not only like leagues in Africa, but he's also doing, what was that league he was doing? Basketball Without Borders, which is where Giannis played, right? So I believe, I could be wrong. You guys can correct me on that one, but I could be wrong. So yeah, he's been huge in terms of having a lot of talent from there. Dragic for Luke Kennard. Aiden, that would be interesting. And Champagne Kennard has a huge contract. Yeah, he does have a huge contract. Raptors fans should realize that Pascal is a very good first scoring option and would be very difficult to replace if traded. Yeah, Shirkan, people don't realize that you trade Pascal away, you're losing. Forget his offense. You're losing his defense. Your rebounding is going to get worse unless you're getting a center back. You're missing out on his passing as well. So yeah, you're going to miss a lot about Pascal if you do trade him. Do you think the Raptors are better than the Hawks, Knicks, Bulls? You know what, Monroe's. I really like the Atlanta Hawks. I think they have the potential. They brought back John Collins as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Hawks play. I think Hawks and Raptors, and they could be one of those teams who could interchange in standings. I think the Hawks may be a little bit higher in standings, but we'll see. It depends on Trae Young. So Siakam is a good second option or third. He's untouchable. Yeah, TJ, me too. Zubac. Yeah, RIP D Rose. I would want him back. Siakam for Paul George, says Aiden. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I would want Zubac and Mon, says TJ. Me too. Our 905 roster is going to be stacked this year, says RP. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Aiden says, Masai, best GM in the league. He's executive / president now, I believe. Bobby Webster's our GM. I kind of miss Terrence Davis. You know what? It's sad. It was just, the entire situation was sad. I don't want to say too much about it because it's a touchy topic, but yeah, he needed a change of scenery. He had that interview where he's crying about, his time with unfortunate event and the Toronto Raptors, and it's just both parties just needed a change of scenery. We have a bunch of power forwards with Siakam, Boucher, Barnes, Birch, Achiuwa, who could play with there also, but even Champagne. What would you want with them to embed our roster? I don't know. Is this Champagne listed at like 6'4"? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to look up his height. Justin Champagne is like 6'4", 6'5". Is he not? Champagne. All right, he could be 6'6". I could be completely wrong on this, but let me check. He is 6'6". Sorry, guys. 6'6", 220 pounds. I don't know. I don't know if I'd play him at the power forward just because, you want a little bit more size in the power forward position. So I wouldn't start Precious or Cam Birch as power forward, maybe like 10 years ago, but I feel like they're modern-day NBA centers. Boucher's expiring contract. Barnes is too young to rely on, to be honest. Does Josh Giddey give you Hedo Turkle? Tall playmaking forward that can score? Mitsui, I saw him in the summer league, and they showed him. I didn't watch his play, but I saw some of his highlights, and I saw that dunk he went on, and he looks slow as hell, man. He looks slow as hell, Josh Giddey. I hope he. You know what? You never want people to fail. I really hope he plays well, but he looks slow as hell, man. This guy was running to the rim and dunking, and I was like, why is this a highlight? The guy's running running super slow. Siakam to Hawks for Onyengia, I'm guessing. Aiden and Bogdan. I wouldn't do that trade, man. Aiden, no way. Jose, no way we're trading for a rookie and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Can't wait to see Reddish playing next season. I was high on him. You know what? Atlanta Hawks, man, they got some really nice young players. They're not going to be able to pay all of them. They just played John Collins at Atlanta Hawks roster. They got Cam Reddish, Kevin Huerter. So yeah, they got Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, and DeAndre Hunter. I don't think they can pay all of these guys. They're gonna have to treat some of these guys. Giants of Africa's Messiah's top project, and Precious was one of the Shere Khan. I heard about Messiah's interview, and he talked about how Precious talked to him, and the first thing he said was finally when he got traded from Miami. So that's awesome, man. Messiah Jury is doing awesome work down there. So in 10 years, how many times will the Raptors make the finals? Blue Week? I'm hoping to. I know you want to be optimistic and see something crazy like 3 or 4, but you need superstar players, or you need like a dynasty to make 3 or 4 finals, in this league. So I don't miss Terrence Davis at all. So Sher Khan. Would Nick Nurse like Jaylen Brown? Absolutely, Aiden. He would love Jaylen Brown, man. He's a defensive beast. He can shoot the three. He can dunk. He can hit the mid-range. He'll attack the basket. Jaylen Brown is nice, man. He is. He really is. Yeah, 6'6". Yeah, sorry, guys. He was 6'6", 6'5". Josh Giddey, LaMelo Ball, says Aiden. I don't know. That's a bold take, man. That's a bold take. I wouldn't compare him to LaMelo Ball just yet, but let's see what happens. Overpay for Collins for sure. Oh, yeah, Phil, absolutely. That's a huge overpay. But it's either overpay or lose him, right? So Giddey doesn't have the vision of Melo, but yeah, says Ansel. Yeah, I agree. Even though we got a second-round pick, I feel like we could have traded Davis for something better. He drops and Jays, me too, but we don't know the situation, right? It's easy to – I personally was hoping they would get a lot more back for at least Terrence Davis, but hey, we got Delano Banton out of it, David Johnson. Let's see how they turn out, right? So Scottie, OG, Pascal, Ben Simmons, Precious, Raps, lineup says Aiden. Aiden, who are you trading if you're getting Ben Simmons? I'm guessing you're trading Fred VanVleet. Do the 76ers do that? Personally, I wouldn't do that trade, but what would you give up? I feel like Messiah and the Raptors are doing a Moneyball movie strategy for building their roster. Yeah, Ansel, that's a good point. That's totally a good point. That's like kind of doing their own thing instead of copying the league. And yeah, I see where you're coming from. What are your feelings about this offseason overall? Satisfied? See, I wouldn't say satisfied. I'm happy. Actually, I am happy, but I was disappointed at first. It's easy to say, why didn't they sign this guy, this guy, this guy? But here's the question I want to ask you guys. Do you, Masai Ujiri, he doesn't make trades or signings for the sake of making trades and signings. You could have signed some sexy names out there, but he's looking at it from a common sense point of view and saying, you know what, does this player get us to our championship? Does this player bring us to the finals? That's how I think Masai Ujiri feels like. So, and we always know about, a lot of players don't want to sign with the Raptors. So I don't know. I feel like we could have done better. I'm happy though. Honestly, I'm happy. Jaylen Brown for Siakam says, Aiden, that's tough, man. I like Jaylen Brown, but I don't know if I like him for Siakam. Personally, I'd try to get Jaylen Brown to play with Siakam. That would be nice. What's that second round pick from Sac, Banton, or the other guy, the Raptors drafted? I don't know his name. Says Raps and Jays. I forget. It was Sacramento, and correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was Memphis, right? So I forget. It's confusing, the two picks. Jalen is what we hope OG can become. Yeah, man, absolutely. FS. OG needs to tighten his handles a little bit. Atlanta can't keep all the rookie core contracts because it's going to take them way over the cap. So Sher Khan, yeah, they can't. It's going to be one of those teams. I'm not comparing them to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have some nice pieces, but it's going to be one of those teams like watch these guys individually go on other teams and become like easily way better just because they'll get more touches and stuff, right? Under what circumstances do you think Nurse will poke Barnes at 1? Because he is likely to start at 4 at least until Siakam returns. Serge, the thing is, Siakam, I think Chris Boucher is more likely to play at the 4. But if Scottie Barnes does play the 1 when Siakam returns, I think it's going to be one of those cases, maybe, not saying they will, but maybe against like a Bam Adebayo type of player, just because Bam is so versatile. Can we turn Precious into Giannis 2.0? Is it Sheldon? I don't know. He doesn't have the... I gotta be very careful to word this. I was gonna say he doesn't have the same athleticism. Obviously he does, but I just don't see similarities in their games, So I see more of Scottie Barnes being a Giannis than anything. Yeah, Jaylen Brown is a more offensively polished version of OG. Yeah, says Mitsui. I agree. ESPN tweet speculations after draft was laughable. Raptors drafting a big and Scottie Barnes does not mean Pascal Siakam is a trade block. There are from the same player. Let's get a center. Says Isaac. Isaac, are you saying trade one of them and get a center, or top 10 defense, Aiden? I think so. I'm going to go as far as to say bold take here, top 5 defense. TD is not a good player, terrible handles, and he's a Kings turnovers. Happy when the Raps got rid of him, says James. I don't want Ben Simmons on the Raptors. I know he'd kill the vibe somehow. I don't know, man. He has that ego about him. Like Ben Simmons, don't get me wrong, he's a really nice player. And I feel like recency bias really kills NBA players. People hated on Paul George after that playoff run. And then, Paul George was playing really well in the playoffs. So it's like you learn to hate a player. People were hating on James Harden several years ago. And look, it is what it is. Ben Simmons is what it is, but he's got that big ego. I don't like him. Would Brown compliment Siakam? Absolutely. He will. Masai plays chess when the whole league is playing checkers. Sher Khan, you know it. How many times will we beat the Celtics out of 4 during the season? I think it's going to be a split, probably 2-2. It depends on the matchups and how healthy we are, right? If certain guys are out, if like Jason Tatum is out or Jaylen Brown is out, then yeah, we'll win. As long as both teams are healthy, I think it'll be a split. But Davis was a guard and a forward and had some big games as a Raptors. Yeah, he really did. He really did had some big games. The other 2 round picks was from Utah. Oh yeah, Utah. But wasn't for Matt Thomas, wasn't the Utah pick from Memphis? CA? Correct me if I'm wrong. If Precious develops his offense and defense, he can become Bam. If defense only, he can become Ben Wallace, says Mitsui. Possibly. I can definitely see that. I think OG's bigger and better defender than Jalen. Jalen is almost a 2/3, and OG's more of a 3/4. Yeah, Ansel, I agree. That's a good take. We'll win 36 games. Says Aiden. Hi, Aiden, man, you got to show the Raptors some love. I think 40 games for sure. I'm not going to go into the numbers of 44, 46 or higher, but we'll see. Again, it all depends on injuries, right? So hopefully we stay healthy. Pandemic Ben, says Aiden. RIP Jalen Harris. Yeah, that was a sad situation, man. He signed with some Italy league, in the Italian league, or with an Italy team, I believe. Ben Simmons teams have been titled probably on the same reason why we passed on Suggs. He does. He has that ego about him. Apparently, he's not talked to any of the Philadelphia 76ers management, coach, obviously Doc Rivers, or even Joel Embiid. So what do you think of Birch Achiuwa starting front court with Boucher coming off the bench as a 6-man Shirkan? I love it, man. I love it. Our bench is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be amazing. And here's the thing. You can play Boucher with Kem Birch or Precious because Boucher can stretch the floor, right? So, man, that bench is going to be nasty this year. I'm telling you guys. I hope Precious can start shooting threes more and be a surge type of player. Raps and G's, here's the thing. He talked about this. I believe it was Precious who talked about this. He said, Coach, I'm having a blank moment here, but Coach Spoelstra, Miami Heat coach, he said he wouldn't let him shoot threes because he wanted Dwayne Dedman to shoot threes, so that's why he was expected to be in the paint more. But we saw him shooting a little bit more threes in the summer league, so I definitely could see him shooting more threes. I wouldn't say he's Serge Ibaka like. I would say he's more Montrezl Harrell with better defense and obviously 3-point shots. So. Can we beat Celtics in Boston, says Aiden. I think so. The family says 53 games. Is that how many games you think the Raptors could win? If he wasn't notorious for his racial slurs during online gaming, Myers Leonard would be a good center. Yeah, I don't know. What's his defense? Because he puts up some nice stats. I believe it was him with the Portland Trailblazers a few years ago when they made the Western Conference Finals. I believe it was him or the other guy they just got rid of. The injury-prone guy who the Spurs just signed. I'm forgetting the names here, but let me look at the Spurs roster. Like he had like a 20-point half or something like that, something crazy like that. Zach Collins. Was it Zach Collins or Gabriel says, what's up, Warriors? What's up, Gabriel? Thank you for being here. Precious has been working on his shot a lot, especially with Team Nigeria, to have the freedom and be more creative on offense. Yeah, he has been, Ansel. He really has been. I hope he gets that leash where he's able to shoot three-pointers. I never understood why coaches don't let their big man shoot threes. I understand like 10 years ago because the game was totally different. But like especially now, you want your big man to be shooting threes because unless they're terrible at it, encourage them to stretch the floor a little, right? So CSS 55 wins. That is a hot take, man. I think 40 someone wins. Again, I'm not going to go numbers. If they're healthy, I'm guessing 45, 46 wins, but we'll see. Aiden says Raptors will be 7 seed and lose in 6 in round 1, says Aiden. Who are we losing to, Aiden? The Nets? Who are we losing to? The Bucks. People really need to stop hating on Pascal. I think he'll do great this year, says Dylan James. Me too, Dylan. I agree. I think Raptors fans have just gotten this habit of, when you think of Pascal Siakam, they think of missed game winners. They think of the bubble Pascal, and it's just, the hate just starts, circulating. But Pascal will be fine, guys. We'll be fine. Even better MVP. How do you define a successful season for the Raptors this year, says Click2AM? Honestly, second round, man. Second round, it doesn't matter if you face the Brooklyn Nets. It doesn't matter if you face Miami Heat, the Bucks. Just take them to like a 6 or 7 game series, man. That would be success. And as long as our guys are healthy, you're getting OG touches. Gary Trent Jr. gets better. Scottie Barnes gets better. Malachi Flynn gets better. Obviously, you want guys like Fred and Pascal to get better as well. But as long as we're having we're having good health, and young guys are developing, that's a successful season. So the chip, that's the family. That's high standards. We got to be realistic. I says click to him. Yeah. Will Bucks get revenge on the Raptors? I hope we don't play them in the playoffs because I like how we play Giannis, but the thing is, we don't have that big 7-foot center to, kind of hold that wall in the paint. It'd be interesting, though. I'm really excited to see Scottie Barnes guard. I'm not saying he'll guard Giannis successfully, and I know he's a rookie. I don't want to put too many expectations on him in terms of what I expect from him in this season, but I think it'll be interesting to see Scottie Barnes guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. What do you guys think? That's like a dream matchup, man. That would be a really intense matchup, you know? So I like that matchup. I don't get why Nick Nurse puts Siakam in the clutch situation. It was almost like he wanted to see him fail. They do many others. They so many others. He could have set up for a game winner or to tie a game. Says Dylan. It's growing pains. You know what? It's unfortunate. You got to go with your best player. You know what? It's not always. I think there's a lot of politics involved in the NBA. Like you can't, like you saw what happened when he benched Siakam, right? So you continuously do that, a player's going to be unhappy and going to be like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm not saying he shouldn't have given Pascal the ball or he should have, but normally it's just normal in the NBA. You give your highest point per game guy the ball in the clutch, right? So it's unfortunate. A lot of the shots did rim out for Pascal Siakam. If even two of them went in, honestly, I feel like the Raptors mindset of how Pascal is in the clutch would have definitely changed. But you know what? It ended up helping us land Scottie Barnes. So let's see. I hope he gets better, though. He's talked about that as well in his interview at the end of the season. So honestly, Raptors can be the next of 21, 22, and be that 4th, 5th seed. Sure, God, I see that too. I see the Raptors being successful, man. I definitely could see the Raptors being a 4th and 5th seed. Obviously, a lot would need to happen for them to be that successful, but you know, just having good health is the main thing. Just being healthy, obviously. Hopefully, you don't have to deal with COVID protocols by next season. We'll see what happens, but Pascal will be as good as the team is, says Isaac. Yeah, it depends. If I ever hear Lillard wants to trade to Toronto, I'm buying a lottery ticket, says Serge. It would be interesting. It would be interesting in terms of what we would have to give up. That would be tricky, though, right? That would be really tricky. OG needs to be number 1, says Aiden. I don't know about that. Does he? We haven't seen him as a proven second, like a number 2 option on a team, right? So I think OG needs to work on his handles a little bit more. I think OG needs to get better. And definitely, imagine if Pascal begins to have an MVP or close to MVP season. OG steps up, Fred as well with their defense, solid centers. That'd be great. CA, that would be dream scenario, man. Could you imagine if he is? I just don't see that being the case just because, I don't know, I just don't see Pascal's ceiling as being an MVP guy. I see him being an all-star, but let's see. If that happens, that would be absolutely amazing, but let's see what happens. If it was first year for Pascal to be the number 1 option, he'll be okay. I hope. It says Live Life 88. I hope so too. I hope so too. I know people are really harsh on Pascal Siakam, but give the guy a chance, man. Give the guy a chance. If we had made those 3 or 4 shots or whatever he missed, I don't remember the exact amount, we would have been in the play-in, you know, when we would have, let's be honest, are we beating the Celtics, or not the Celtics, are we beating the Bucks or Nets? Unlikely, right? So Ansel says, I'd rather give Pascal the ball at the end of the game than Fred because of his height. He honestly had some good shots, just terrible luck. Where the Ansel, he had some brutal luck, man. It was sad. Pascal just had some of the worst luck. I hope he rebounds, hit some clutch shots, and watch. People are going to be like, Pascal's clutch. But yeah, I'd definitely rather give him the shot than Fred too. Fred really has, first of all, Fred VanVleet can't be the guy you can go to in the clutch because his height, as you mentioned, Ansel, but he's not great at finishing around the rim, and they're going to put bigger defenders on him and know he's going to shoot a 3. So he's just going to have a hard time getting that 3-point shot off, right? So I agree. Raptors being 50 beats the Celtics in 7 on the road in TD. Then we beat Philly in 6 and lose to Nets in 5. Aiden, if that comes true, man, you better screenshot this. You better screenshot this. That would be a dream scenario. It really would be. And it'd be interesting to see the Raptors facing the Nets in the playoffs. So how do you guys think? Obviously, I'm not saying we'd beat the Nets, but in terms of guarding like guys like we saw during the regular season, they did a good job. Obviously, the playoffs are a different beast. But in terms of our defense, what we're able to throw at guys, different matchups. You know, we're able to throw Pascal on KD. We're able to throw Scottie Barnes on KD. I'm not saying we're going to slow KD down. No way. But we can have Fred VanVleet on Kyrie Irving. You know, we can have Gary Trent Jr. on Kyrie Irving. Fred VanVleet is great, but Gary Trent Jr. is a little bit quicker on his feet, right? So we can probably maybe put someone on James Harden. I don't know. OG and Anunoby would be good on James Harden, right? So it'd be interesting matchups-wise, but I don't think we'll beat him, but it'll be awesome. Another player I miss is Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, says Raps and Jays. You know what? He was nice, but apparently people have told me this. He had a little bit of an ego because he talked to the media. I've talked about this a few times. He said he should have been the starter with the Raptors after he wasn't re-signed with the Raptors, re-signed with another team. So I think that attitude just rubbed a lot of teams the wrong way because he's clearly a bench player, but I don't know. Maybe he thinks too highly of himself. That's why I don't know where he is right now. I know he was on the Blazers last time I checked. I think Trent can be the last shot guy at the end of the game because I believe he can be our clutch guy. Shere Khan, I agree. Him or Pascal can be. Give Trent some touches in the clutch, man. I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. Even OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby can be our clutch. He's obviously done it once a few times. Remember the Cavs series in 2017 or 18, I believe, in the playoffs where we got swept. He hit that big shot at the end of close to the end of Game 3. Raptors can definitely give the Nets some trouble because too much ISO players and not enough ball movement. Shere Khan, I believe so. I really believe so. They have way too much ISO scoring, ISO players. So Raptors can definitely give Raptors. Oh yeah, sorry, that's just a repeated. Extend Dragic's contract and trade him to Portland to get Norm back, and perfect veteran presence, ready made for us right there. Says Sean. Sean, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I really like Norman, but you have Gary Trent Jr. They're both making what, 18 million a season. The reason we traded Norman was because we didn't want to pay him. So I just don't see that happening. I don't see the Portland Trailblazers, to be honest, trading Dragic for Norman Powell. We definitely have to throw in a lot more. All right, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is done in this league, says Ansel. Yeah, I don't think any team has signed him. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think that when playing the Nets, the most impactful player would be Scottie, because if he gets hell season on the defense end during the season, KD's going to have problems. Mitsui, that's a bold take, because you're don't get me wrong, I love Scottie Barnes' defense, but you're betting that a rookie's going to come in and slow down KD, because KD, he's going to go off regardless, man. PJ Tucker was an absolute beast on defense. You saw what he was able to do. Obviously, he lacked a little bit of height, but KD was still scoring, 30, 40, and that one game he had 50 points. So, but that would be an intense matchup. I imagine that'd be amazing. I think the only thing is with rookies is avoiding foul trouble, right? Because veteran players, they have this thing, they'll get to their moves, they'll get to their spots, and they'll get the rookies in foul trouble. So, man, that would be a dream for me getting Norm back. Yeah, Raph says look, it is what it is. I miss Norman though. If I could get my predictions correct, give me a shout out. Aiden, you get a screenshot that and send me a message on Instagram. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram already. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's the Warriors Report. Twitter is Warriors The. I'm going to be reacting to trades from fans. So if you guys want to follow me on there, message me, shoot me your trades, and within the next week and a half or two, I'm going to be reacting to all of your guys' trades. So Raptors trades only. If you guys want to send me your trade predictions, it could be for anyone, just for something for fun. So if you guys want to subscribe as well, that'd be absolutely amazing. I really appreciate your guys' comments. Thank you for being here. Gary Trent is so much younger, and it's just going to keep getting better, says Phil. Yeah, I agree. Aiden, you better screenshot that, because it's hard to remember things. There's like a million things going on at once. If Portland continues to be a first-round exit, do you think Lillard would plan to request a trade to Toronto? I think 76ers are actually on top of his list. I didn't see Toronto their search. I could be wrong. I just don't see him coming to Toronto unless we really prove ourselves to be contenders in the future, or like this year. I don't know. I just don't see that. RGH could not defend or score. Why would anyone miss him, says James. He was a good defender. James, he was Rondae Hollis-Jefferson was a good defender. He couldn't shoot to save his life, though. Not even a jump shot. Yeah, Phil, he was a decent defender. Sup, says Thomas Flizardo. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Flizardo. Sup, man? How's it going? Thank you for being here. I think our expectations are a bit too high. I love our young, talented player, but we are a very young, inexperienced team. Getting off to a great start is important. Without Siakam, that's tough. Derek, it depends. I know we're playing the Washington Wizards. It honestly just depends on team chemistry, right? And Gary Trent and OG's development, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Dragic Boucher for Hayward, says Aiden. I don't know if they do that trade. They have LaMelo, they have Rozier. Like, where are they going to play Dragic? Are they going to play him off the bench? Because Gordon Hayward is their starting small forward, right, for the Hornets. So I would love to get Hayward. That would be an interesting player for sure, but I don't see that trade happening, Aiden. I don't see the same season for the Sixers this year than the last one. This season with Ben Simmons just seemed to degrade the group chemistry, and I don't see them ahead of fifth seed. You know what? See, you might not be wrong. I mean, look, I'm high on Joel Embiid, but the guy gets injured. He's going to be missing at least 15, 20 games every season. No matter how healthy he is, he's going to be missing games. We don't know what's happening with Ben Simmons. Even if he comes back, like you talked about, the locker room chemistry is going to be terrible. If they trade him, like, what are they going to trade him for? There's not really a superstar out there that's going to, like, who are you going to trade Ben Simmons for? So I remember Barnes saying that he'd rather guard Giannis over KD. Sure, I don't doubt that. KD is, man, he's way too talented. Anyone can guard him, and he'll still manage to score. One of our big knocks against RJ is he is a poor defender, says James. Van Vliet is our next All-Star, says Isaac. Yeah, I hope so. Him, maybe Gary Trent Jr. I know that's being a little bit too ambitious, maybe, but maybe. Let's see what happens. Maybe Anunoby, if we're being optimistic, a little bit too optimistic. But Earl Watson is going to bring us a lot with the player development in the perimeter. Yeah, see, he's apparently who is it? Devin Booker's talked about how he helped him with his player development. Nice Portuguese. Oh, thank you. I try. I can't speak Portuguese, but really sold on the Raptors roster that they have enough talent and skill for today and tomorrow. Says Mitsui. Yeah, man, it's exciting times to be a Raptors fan. Absolutely. Most we're gonna get for Dragic is salary filler in a few seconds, maybe. No team wants to have a $20 million bench player. First and last, I don't know about that though. Do they? Like Lowry was making what 33 million. I'm not comparing. First of all, I'm not comparing Lowry to Dragic. I just want to put that out there. I know people are gonna say I'm comparing Lowry to Dragic, but I'm not comparing the players. But when you think of teams that could use bench scoring, he's proven to be a really good scorer. To be that guy in the clutch in the playoffs. You know, he can pass, he can facilitate, he's got 3-point shots, he can do a lot of things out there. So I think, yeah, Ansel, you're right. A lot of contenders will definitely, you know, that's going to heat up because if the Nets make another move, or if the Lakers make another move, there's going to be teams in the West that are definitely going to make that move to, you know, kind of put them or help them in the playoffs. And I definitely feel like Dragic will be that guy in the playoffs. So I absolutely agree. All right, guys, I'm going to be ending it soon. Any last questions you guys have for me? There's 63 of you guys here. I just want to say thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate you guys being here. Imagine Banton, Barnes, OG guarding Kyrie, James, KD. I think they will have a hard time scoring the ball on ISO-only plays. Sure, I agree. Well, I don't know about Banton. I don't think Banton's going to get time with the Raptors. I think he's more in the Raptors 905, right? Barnes or Boucher to start. I want Barnes, but to be honest, I feel like Boucher fits in with the starting lineup a little bit better just because he's comfortable playing with them. And Barnes is a rookie. I know he's a top 4 pick, but I think Nick Nurse, just knowing Nick Nurse, that'd be amazing if Scottie Barnes can start, but I think Chris Boucher will start. One comparison for Barnes is that I never saw his comparison to Magic Johnson. Barnes is a very far, but he has a special skill set, the frame and the mindset and the potential, says Mitsui. Yeah, potentially. Let's see. I don't want to put too many high expectations on, you know, Scottie Barnes and other guys, but I'm excited about him. I want to keep my expectations limited just because Nick Nurse just seems like the coach. I really do like Nick Nurse. Don't get me wrong, guys, but he just seems like he's really hard on the rookies. You know, we saw that with Malachi Flynn last season. So contenders are going to be desperate for a reliable point guard by midseason, especially if teams have injuries like they did last season. Yeah, RIP D Rose. That's a very good point. That's an amazing point. That, you know what. Injuries play a big factor, right? If a team loses a point guard, I could see the 76ers wanting Dragic, man. If Ben Simmons is still there, they're definitely going to want Dragic. What seed will the Raptors be? Asked Ashwir. Ashwir, thank you for being here. I think the Raptors will be, I know I'm being optimistic, maybe a little bit too optimistic. I'm expecting the 5th or 6th seed, as long as we're healthy, you know, no injuries. OG's going to have a breakout year, says NBA Talks. I really hope so. We've all been waiting for OG for a while. Gary will have a breakout season, says Ashwar. I really hope we read those two guys who step up on the offense. Sorry, Warish RH got cut by teams for blaming his poor defense. He was a physical player, but never good on defense. Research it. I will, James. I will. What do you think should be the Raptors? Who do you think the Raptors should sign among the players they invited for camp? Isaac Bonga, honestly, I really like him. I like the potential there. Sam Decker, I'm not too high on him. I know he shot amazing from the 3-point line, but that was a Turkish league, and Turkish league is pretty nice. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm not big on Sam Decker, to be honest, but probably Isaac Bonga, Live Life 44. Thanks for your work. Appreciate it, CA. Thank you guys for being here, and I will be ending it exactly 1 minute. If you guys want to maybe throw out a few more questions, I'll get last minute questions and I'll be ending the live stream. But I really do appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. The 2020 draft looks weak. 2022 draft, sorry, looks weak, says 6canada.tv. Is it? I know who's that guy, that 7-foot guy that everyone keeps talking about, comparing him to KD. Sher Khan says, thank you for doing this. Good night. Thank you, Sher Khan, for being here and for your questions. I really do appreciate it. Wondering if Wainwright is gonna get playing time. He's going to be one of those guys like Stanley Johnson. You'll play him in certain matchups, right? Decker is hopefully going in cuts as Master Bear. Let's see. Love your vlogs. Thanks, says Live Life 88. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, just arrived. Missed it again. Love your work, says Robert. Oh, sorry, guys. Robert. I'm so sorry. Robert Engers Roll. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. It's okay. I've got 2 live streams. I don't know if you want to watch them again, but 2020 draft is one of the strongest in years, says First Last. I don't know enough about it, to be honest. Imoni Bates is next KD. Is he FS? Who is the other guy? Kevin. Oh, yeah, Phil. Kevin Pangos. Pangos. Sorry. I'll remember that. Thank you, says Master Bear. Thank you. No, it's Chet Holmgren. That's the guy who people keep talking about in the next year's draft, who's supposed to be the next KD. Is he going? He's going to college this year, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. He went from high school to college. So yeah, I think that was the guy. He's like 7 foot, handles the ball, really skinny, can shoot. I think that's the guy they were comparing. Yeah, Michael says, McDonald says, yeah, he's the guy they're comparing KD to. I don't know, man. I feel like people overhype the heck out of high school players, and sometimes college ball is different. And he's going to Gonzaga, is he? That's going to be good. 2020 draft is Wembanyama's draft. I don't know who that is. Mitsui. I'm gonna have to do some research. I don't really watch college ball. I do. Yeah, Chet is. He's skinnier than KD Hansel. He's tiny, man. He needs to get stronger. But the thing with a lot of those kind of players are it's hard for 7 foot guys, especially with that style of play, to put on weight. Kevin Pongas played for Gonzaga. Kevin Pongas. I'm gonna remember that, Phil. You really do like him. Anyways, guys, I will be ending the live stream here. Wembanyama, 8 Holmgren. See, before I go, is he the guy that was playing for which country was he playing for? Because I remember people were talking about US under 18, I believe, and there's some other team. They had a really good matchup. Before I go off, or anyone, if anyone remembers, I get a France. That's who it was. France. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of talk about this player. I'm going to look him up as well. I'm going to do a little bit of research on him and Ponga. Or Kevin Pangos, Phil, sorry. Is it Victor? That's his name, right? Victor? France. He's on France. This dude with a ridiculous wingspan. Let's see his wingspan here. You guys got me all excited now. Victor wingspan. He's got a 7. What? 7 foot 10 inches? This can't be right. And feet. Look at it. Is he got a 7'8" wingspan? Holy crap! You gotta be kidding me! Oh my god! I'm definitely gonna watch some of his highlights. One of the most intriguing, Victor Wembanyama is one of the most intriguing prospects on the NBA horizon, thanks to his sheer size and length. 7'2" with a ridiculous 7'8" wingspan. He's real thin, lanky, but super talented. I'll keep an eye on him, man. Next year's draft, maybe a little bit. Quite fake wingspan, says R.I.P. D Rose. I don't know about that. Again, I don't know. 7'3", 16. Is he 16 years old? No way. Is he really? This kid is 16? That can't be right. Holy crap. You guys have got me too pumped up here, man. The Raptors just tanking. No, I'm just kidding. For this, no, I'm just kidding. No, no more tanking. Hey, 86 is all good, man. You're making dinner. What are you making? Oh man, I was about to end it. You guys got me so pumped up for this guy. I'm excited to look up. I've obviously know about Chet Holmgren. I keep mispronouncing his name, but him, and I'm gonna look up this guy Victor too. That's insane. I don't know. He looked pretty long next to Gobert. He's 16. Give him 6 years of putting up strength, man. He's 16. That's insane. Well, it had him listed at 17, Michael, but that's insane. This guy's that tall. That's insane. He's 17. He's gonna probably go a few inches. Imagine this is the modern NBA in like 5-10 years down the road, where you have like everyone that's like 6'9" and 7 foot and ball handling, skills. So that'd be insane. Anyways, guys, I will be ending it off here. Once again, thank you for every single one of you guys. If you guys want to do subscribe, that would be absolutely amazing. Baji is another promising. Yeah, I was hoping the Raptors would get him in the second round, Ansel, but yeah, he ended up going back to whichever league he was playing in. I remember. I hope he doesn't become Tingus Pingus. I hope not. Anyways, guys, I will be ending it again. Once again, thank you for everyone for being here. I really do appreciate your comments and the time you spent with me here. So I know 86. I'm sorry, man. I'll try to do another one hopefully next weekend. Actually, I'm going to be going out of town next weekend, so I won't be able to. But I'll try to do something for you guys. But thanks, man. Says this was awesome. F8s, you are awesome. Thank you once again, guys. I will be ending it. I hope you guys have a great evening.